Yeah, it's Redbird. Redbird. Yeah, yeah. It's a classic Greek myth retold as a heartbreaking LGBTQ plus gothic horror. My name, yeah, it's James Churchill. Yes, yes. His 9 times great grandfather is my 10 times great grandfather, I think. Yeah, great, great. Look forward to hearing from you, yeah. What was your name again? Okay, Janice Smedley. Cheers. Okay. Thank you. Goodbye. Sight and Sound. The greatest films of all time. You can't really say a film is the greatest of all time, can you? Not when film is such a subjective medium. To say a film is the greatest, that's just opinion. But what about important? Now you can say a film is important without being subjective. A film could be important for, I don't know, a technical milestone. It could be the first colour film, the first film with sound, the first film with talking. Let's try this for an important film. Written by one of the most influential figures of the 20th century. Produced by the man who is called Britain's only movie mogul and who is super important to the British film industry. Directed by the guy who did this.
A handbag!
And also one of the earliest British films in colour, possibly the first British films in colour, and the first to depict a living monarch anywhere in the world. Now that would be a pretty important film, wouldn't it?
This is Past Force.
You know, sometimes, though history is all about change, sometimes things never change. Take, for instance, a certain blue-themed British political party and public service television. Now this book, Having It So Good by Peter Hennessy, contains a diary entry. It's not clear whether the diary entry is by Jack Profumo of the Scandal fame or Violet Bonham Carter, who was... I should have looked this up, but, well, I don't know who she was. She worked for the BBC, I think. At moments, he became suddenly and unreasonably angry, like a violent child. He blazed forth against the BBC. I hate the BBC. It kept me off the air for 11 years during the 1930s. It is run by Reds. Abuse of Reef followed, who could certainly not be described as red. The BBC behaved very badly over that chimpanzee in the coronation, publicising it. Yeah, I might save the chimpanzee at the coronation for, I might save that for King Charles's coronation. But yeah, Winston Churchill hated the BBC. And still to this day, the Tory party, for whatever reason, hates the BBC, hates public service broadcasting. But this isn't about that. This is about Winston Churchill and film. Though he hated the BBC, he actually really, 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 really loved film. In 1929, he wanted to write a film script for Charlie Chaplin based on the life of Napoleon Bonaparte. Would have probably been anti-French, knowing Winston Churchill, but he wanted to make this film with Charlie Chaplin. That's how into film he was. So, the 1930s. Winston Churchill is in the political wilderness. He's out of office. He's irrelevant. He's nobody. He's
A handbag?
nothing now. He's past it. Which probably explains why the BBC weren't putting him on air at this point. But he's gone. He's nothing at the moment. He's an irrelevance, a has-been. And he's trying to get attention. He's still trying to be somebody, to be this great political figure. Enter Britain's only ever movie mogul. Or so some of the books say. Alexander Korda, born in Hungary, director of Studio London Films. And in 1935, he paid Winston Churchill £10,000 for 2 film scripts, neither of which were ever produced. One of these was The Life of George V, who was, in 1935, still alive. And this was going to be for his Silver Jubilee, 25 years on the throne. Of course, chances are, if it had been made, it would have been suppressed. Because the previous time a film biography of a major British political figure had been made, about David Lloyd George in 1918, this had disappeared without a trace and wasn't found again until 1995. But if this had been made, if it had been released, it would be the first film biography of a living monarch anywhere in the world. It would have been a historical cinematic landmark. Oh sure, Winston Churchill was historical advisor, he was assistant producer, he rattled off the script in 2 weeks, putting everything else to one side. But the film was never made. Churchill, when he delivered the script to Korda, was extremely excited and, you might even say, a bit egotistical about this. He was, I want to say, full of it. Not another day must be lost in the preparation of the sets. The audience must be allowed to recover from the cataract of emotion and impressions that this film will provide them. Critical thinking much? You know, if you don't have any doubts about your own work, you're doing it wrong. And maybe this script was, oh sure, it would have been prohibitively expensive, but maybe it was bad as well. Some of the things in that script, for 1935, they were impossible. Miss Smedley, I don't care. Tell him no, we ain't adapting this book. It's gay. The characters are gay. We can't do it. It's 1935 for fuck's sake. It's illegal. Catch you later, Miss Smedley. Winston, baby, what can I do you for? Mr. Korda, I have finished the film script. Great, great. What do you got for me? It contains full-scale recreations of the First World War, of the trenches, over the Western Front. Okay, that might be a bit difficult, but you know, we can work with it. And we see a German gunboat sailing across the ocean. And where do you propose we get a German gunboat from? And there will be scenes shot in every corner of the British Empire. Well, we might be able to use stock footage, I suppose. But the crowning achievement will be a life-size skull, a skeleton, a skull face in my helmet, filling the screen and growing to monstrous proportions. I should indicate that this is the most terrible thing, the most offensive thing in the entire film. It is not akin to that Salvador Dali film where the lady cuts her eye open and maggots fall out. Yeah, Winston, censorship laws won't allow it. I don't think we can make this film, Winston, baby. It's gonna be too prohibitive. It's gonna be expensive. The film ends with Queen Victoria sitting on Adolf Hitler and then doing more striptease. Winston, baby, it's 1935. For one thing, the government's appeasing Hitler will never be allowed it. And Queen Victoria doing a striptease? And I want to see it, you want to see it, but the censors don't want to see it. The film was too expensive in the end to be made. It never saw the light of day. I don't know if the script still survives or if it does, where it is. Possibly it's in the BFI archives somewhere. Maybe it's in Winston Churchill's private papers. I don't know. But it would be, I think, a fascinating document to read. Knowing the price of film memorabilia as well. Oh, it would be worth a hell of a lot of money. Since filming this video, new information has come to light about this. I found some new information. An overview of the film does exist in the Churchill papers in Cambridge. There are also letters in there relating to the film, but no sign of any script. And the other problem is that they're not accessible online. They're accessible, they're open, but you've got to go down to Cambridge to see them. But where's the script? That's what I want to know. Where is the script? I did find that the BFI archive does have a repository of files from London Films, Alexander Korda's company, production company, who were going to make the film. Is the script in there? The archive website didn't say. But if it's anywhere, it's in the BFI.
History! It's a thing of the past!
It's a thing of the past.